day. Okay. First thing I want to say is we're going to be talking about Sheff G, obviously. Um, Accusations about why he's actually arrested. Some of the evidence that the police are saying that they have, we're going to be discussing. That's going to be for the first 40 minutes of the show. So just so you know. So after like the 40-minute mark, whenever y'all see us get past the 40-minute mark and I'm talking about whatever, that's because the conversation has went to the extent that I can take it, and I either need more input from the audience in order to be able to take the conversation further, or we just got to change subjects. It's just, that's what it is. I mean, realistically, with the information that we have on this particular subject right now, 40 minutes of a conversation on it is kind of long. It's really long, just so we can be clear. Shout out to everybody that dropped some comments before the show started. Shout out to Brooklyn NASDAQ, salute. Shout out to Judah, salute. And I want to talk about, I'm over here, I was ready, but I wasn't ready. And I want to have a conversation about Ja Morant. And just so you can understand where we're going with that real quick. I was eating a donut before the show started. And just so you can understand where we're going from that real quick. As far as Ja Morant, players get banned from the NBA, right? Y'all know this, right? And sometimes these players that get banned from the NBA get banned from the NBA because of off-court activities. Y'all do know this, right? You ever wondered why? I don't want to say no names. Some of them are still active. But you ever wonder why some players who are still really good go overseas? It's not just because they don't want to take a smaller check, fam. Some of these dudes literally are being banned from the NBA. And I just want to talk about, what do you think is going to... Do you think that that's the line that Ja Morant might be going on? I don't think they would do something like that so soon. I think they would at least give him about 5 or 6 more years to get his shit straight. That's one. Two, he's been presumably will be dropped from Nike. I would like to have that conversation. He's presumably, I hope I'm saying that word right, dropped by Nike. He's been taken off of, his sneaker has been taken off of the Nike app. For anybody that's going to be like, Jack Frost is lying. His sneaker's been taken off the app allegedly. This is the information which I've been given. All right, so let's get back to this Sheff G shit real quick. First thing I want to say is this. And I want to be clear about this. I don't want there to be no misunderstanding. We love all our brothers. We are never applauding. We are never happy when something negative is happening to one of our brothers. We pray for the victim, and we also pray for the suspect. We are never happy we should never be celebrating the downfall of one of our brothers. This is something that we do too often in our community, and we need to work on it. Shout out to Suzette Carbuckle. This is good morning, Jack. Good morning. That is something that we do in our community, and we need to work on it. We need to keep those, stop acting like it's a joke, stop acting like it's a game. People tell you how powerful words are. Stop joking around saying negative things about our own people. We all hear how powerful words are. Stop joking around saying negative things about our own people. Let's be a little bit more supportive. A lot of individuals who are out here actively committing crimes, we want them to stop committing their crimes. We're not applauding the crimes that they're committing, but we hate the deed, not the person. We love the person. We hate the deed. We hate the thing that they're doing. We don't hate them. So I say all that to say this. Allegedly, Yesterday I told you about the 22 G situation as far as Sheff G is concerned. They're saying that Sheff G had a hit out for 22 G's. This is what I need for you to understand when we're talking about the information that the police is giving out, and we're dealing about anything, just so we can be clear, but especially with the street shit. The first thing I want to say is everywhere you do business at, street niggas, there's a camera. I'm going to say this again. Everywhere you do business, street niggas, there's a camera. Do you remember a couple of years ago I told you this? I said, I'm giving all of y'all street niggas, all of y'all gangs a warning. I said, the police is coming and they're coming with them Ricos. I said, yo, look, what is the end game? The end game is to get rich. The end game is to make money. That's what you're trying to do. We're not out here trying to hurt each other. We're out here trying to make money, right? I said, when y'all bring the violence, you're going to bring the police. I said, you're going to bring the authorities. I said, look, listen, this is before weed was legalized also. We had this conversation before weed was legalized. So while I'm having this conversation, weed is also illegal in New York at this point. I said, look, because of that junior situation, they're going to be coming for the gangs. They just got a shitload of money from the feds. Why do you think there's so many Ricos, man? When they get this money from the feds, when the city gets the money from the feds, what do you think happens? The feds just have them use that money for investigations that they already have going on. That's why we have the Ricos, right? So hold on, bear with me. What is the number one thing we're hearing that's coming out of these charges involving Sheff G? We're not even hearing about drugs, man. We're not hearing about no crimes except for shooting and people getting shot. When I be in here and I say something and I'm like, yo, weren't we talking about this? Or I say, remember I told you about this? That's not me bragging, fam. That's me saying that on purpose so you understand that the very next thing I'm going to say is most likely on point. Like when I told you that last shit that I'm reminding you that I said previously. I can get it how somebody might think that I'm trying to pat myself on the back, but I'm not. I'm just explaining to you that even from the beginning, before we really knew that this was going to be a conversation, I knew what I was talking about. That's it. So I say I like to say this. I'm going to remind you of one more thing first. Remember when the mayor that we have right now, Eric Adams, I want to talk about the migrant thing also. Eric Adams, the mayor, Eric Adams, first got into office and he won. One of the things that he said was that there's going to be a crime unit for drill music, specifically in the Bronx and Brooklyn. Obviously, I don't work for the city, so I don't know what they did with that. But have you heard about a Rico coming out of Queens anytime recently? Have you heard about a Rico coming out of Harlem anytime recently? Have you heard about a Rico coming out of Staten Island anytime recently? Have you heard of Rico coming out of Midtown Manhattan? We're the only Ricos we've been hearing about. Have you heard about a Rico in Long Island? We even throw them niggas in here. What's up, Darkwing? How you doing, my brother? Salute. He said, salute, Jack. What up? Have you heard about a RICO in any of these other places? Because I do remember pointing this out to y'all when he made this thing that he said. And I don't remember other content creators in our corner of the internet reinforcing this to people. If you live in New York City and you're a content creator and our mayor say that he's about to start a freaking tactical unit that's specifically to go after Bronx and Brooklyn drill music gangs, drill music artists, and the people that are associated with them, and you are a content creator in New York City, and you're not drilling that into your people's heads, are you for the people? Shout out to the Art of D Glass. Salute. He says, good morning, BBN fan, big bro. Bro, chilling. How you doing? Are you for the people? Could you be for the people? If you only reminding people when something happens, are you for the people? You're waiting for the situation to transpire to say, look, you shouldn't do that. Are you for the people? Do we applaud the guy that say, oh, you all right down in that hole that I could have warned you about, but I didn't? Or do we applaud the guy that says, yo, watch out for that hole, fam? You're not looking where you walking? Who are we applauding? Shout out AP. Just answer this for me. Because I'm busy telling people to look out for the hole. We haven't, they said there's 100 and at least it's over 140 counts, just so we can be clear. But it's somewhere near like 140 plus counts, right? So obviously a lot of these charges that's going to be against them, it's going to not all have to deal with violence. Let's just be clear on that. Obviously, there's other things that they're also assuming them of, accusing them of also, just so we can be clear. But I want to just point this out. Since when is there a RICO involving drugs, and that's not the first thing that they talk about? The drugs they confiscated, the money they confiscated, or the people that they prevented from putting drugs on the street? Because that's a win for them. You do understand that, right? We're getting drugs out of the community. How often do we see them have the freaking televised on the news with all the drugs on the table? That's a thing. But in this particular Sheff G situation, all they're talking about is shooting, murders, and attempted murders. I'm about to reference something that I spoke about previously. So please don't take this as me trying to pat myself on the back, and just take this as me just explaining to you that this is a conversation that we've had before. Check this out. The only charges that we're hearing about is violence, correct? There's 140 plus counts. There's 32 people, give or take. So I heard one of the DAs speaking. Was it the DA or was it the police officer? Okay, it could have been the police officer. It was the DA. So I heard a DA speaking, an ADA, Assistant District Attorney. And what they said was this. Basically, when these dudes are showing up to shoot they ops, they're shooting more civilians than they're shooting they ops. There might be one op there. They might miss him and shoot 3 other niggas. But I digress. Do y'all mind if I remind you of something that happened in the news? It happened in real life. Do y'all remember the Junior situation? Anyway, when the Junior situation happened, rest in peace to Junior. When the Junior situation happened in the Bronx, that's my old neighborhood, by the way. Like my elementary school is 1 block away from that store where this happened at. Just so we can be clear, so you can understand. That's literally my neighborhood, fam. So where I grew up at, like as a child, as a youngin, for real, when I was a jit, that's where I lived. PS 59 is 1 block away. Go check it out if you don't believe me. So look, check this out. Listen, pay attention. So you want to know what's the biggest thing that I take out of why the federal government then invested so much more money into New York City policing? I'm gonna explain. When you dudes is out here, right? And y'all going at each other. I'm talking about you street niggas. And y'all at a street nigga event, and y'all do a street nigga event shooting at a street nigga event, and the only people that get hurt is street niggas. It's a gang shooting. They might not even catch nobody. Are you listening? It's a gang shooting. Nobody's talking and helping the police. They might not even catch nobody. I'll give you a point of reference, the tax stone situation. People wouldn't even get on the stand to testify in tax's favor. Why? Because they was at a street nigga event. If the shit didn't get caught on camera, ain't nobody see nothing. So these dudes is in trouble, not just because they in the street shooting at they ops. They in trouble because they've been shooting civilians, fam. They've been shooting innocent bystanders, fam. Allegedly. This is what the government is trying to tell us. I don't know if they have. We're going to pray for our brothers, and we're going to pray for the people that they say that they victimized. We praying for everybody. We don't hate the person, we hate the act. You don't hate the sinner, you hate the sin. And that's why you're never supposed to try to be someone's karma. Anytime anybody is actively attempting to be another person's karma, they are doing evil. Because we're never supposed to hate the person. We're always supposed to hate the sin. I've said a lot this morning if anybody's been paying attention. I want to stay on this subject. I don't want to, we going on 20 minutes into the show. I want to stay on this subject. I got a question down there real quick. Oh, so anyway, I want to say something. So I heard some Sheff G jump off where he was doing a Biggie Smalls type of freestyle impersonation thing. And it was kind of cool. It was kind of good. The nigga was really sounding kind of like, I was listening to him like, this dude must be practicing Biggie's voice, man. I'm going to tell you why you street dudes that's out here and might already have RICO's opening up. Okay, so right now, the Democrats are desperate. I'm about to talk a little bit of politics for a second. Pay attention here. The Democrats are desperate right now, fam. They need wins. Not only do the Democrats need wins. Oh, why do the Democrats need wins? All right, can we talk about one thing for one moment and get away from this? So they have a situation going on in New York City right now that they need to distract everybody from, and that's the migrant problem. I'm going to say this again. So they got a situation going on in New York City that they need to distract people from. That's the migrant problem. Okay, so Eric Adams was tricked, in my belief. He was tricked into agreeing to allow a certain number of migrants to come to New York City a couple of years ago. So he has to fall in line and do that. He's stuck. It is what it is. He has to do it for the party. You understand what I'm saying? He got to take the shot. So with that being what it is, remember, he's already openly come out and tried to say we can't accept any more migrants, but they keep sending them. So he has no say in this. I just want to be clear on this. So Eric Adams needs to distract, and the New York City political system need to distract you from the fact that there's like 49,000 homeless. So now you're going to house and feed people that's coming from another country, but you got like 45,000 or 63,000, some number like that, homeless people in New York City. You could have taken care of them. So they need to distract from the fact that if they wanted to, they can fix the homeless problem. Get it? They need to distract from the fact that if they wanted to, they can fix the homeless problem. So the reason why I'm explaining this is because the way that you do that, and you do that successfully, is that you have to get the people to believe that you're doing something or you're involved in something at the moment that takes precedence over whatever that matter is. So what's more important than we have street gangs out here just shooting the street up? Anybody could get hit. We got some innocent bystanders getting hit over here, innocent bystanders getting hit over there. We got to lock these guys up. So when the man comes out and now he says that distracts from the fact that there's a thing where they're trying to take schools and put migrants in schools now, which is bananas. Out of the way. Schools, fam? Everybody forgets the issue that we have in America that doesn't exist, I don't think, nowhere else in the planet, with the safety of our schools. And you want to go and I'm not trying to laugh at this, man. This is a serious situation. But we have a problem in America that might not exist in no other country and no other time in history. I got a belief on why that happens, by the way. And you want to then use our schools in New York City to house migrants, house anyone, just so we can be clear. I'm against any of the housing of anyone in our schools where our children go to. I don't want anyone housed there. But what they're doing is they're showing that they could have been solved the homeless problem. That's actually what's happening. They could have been, if they could take in 20,000 new migrants every couple of months, fam, they could have did something with the 60-something thousand or 40-something, I think it's 63,000 homeless that we have in New York City. They could have helped them, fam. And even if you couldn't have helped 63,000, you can't tell me all 63,000 of these people got some kind of mental health or drug problem that is pre-existing that prevents them from being able to do the things that's going to be needed for them to be able to facilitate housing. You can't tell me that. Not all 63,000. We had a dude that just got choked out on the train and died because he was homeless and hungry. But we're accepting individuals from other countries and we're giving them housing and food. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just explaining. There's a hierarchy in the system. And whenever people want to distract you from something, they throw black people on television in one way, shape, or form. Tell me where the lies at. And if you don't believe that this is a distraction technique, just so we could be clear, did you hear about what just happened with the Prince and Meghan Markle? Because I know people thinking Jack Frost, he's just going crazy, just talking. You'll never know what he's talking about. Did anybody just hear about what happened with the Prince? I don't know which Prince that is, by the way. I don't know these guys. Prince Jacob? I don't know this nigga's name. And Meghan Markle, her husband. So allegedly, they was in trying to get away from the paparazzi, and they was zipping through the street. They called it a high-speed chase. It probably wasn't a high-speed chase. Y'all niggas is exaggerating. But they were trying to get away from someone, allegedly, that was following them in the vehicle, and they was in their vehicle. So the mayor comes out and tries to explain that they wasn't doing 60 and 70 through the street. And just so we could be clear, he needed to do that to a degree. Because remember how Princess Diana passed away. Allegedly, she passed away because she was with Dodi Fayed. I think that was his name, right? His name was like Dodi Fayed or something like that. He was a Arab millionaire, billionaire, whatever the hell. And they was seeing each other, and they was driving in a car, and the paparazzi was chasing them, and then the car flipped in the tunnel. Dodi Fayed, right? That was his name? Anyway, I hope I'm remembering it correctly. In any regard, so they are doing distraction techniques, man. So all of you street dudes, y'all better start laying low. Stop shooting at niggas for a little while. Let them live, fam. Stop killing each other for a little while. I promise. If New York City, if we in the hood got our shit straight and stop killing each other for a minute, they'll have to send resources. They'll have to send resources, fam. If whatever neighborhood you talking about, people stop killing each other, the people in the community, I don't care if you on drugs, I don't care what your issue is. I don't care if you're on drugs, I don't care what your issue is. Even if you stayed on drugs, even if you stayed with whatever your issue is. But you started actually helping to beautify whatever the community is. You started actually helping to beautify the community, hold the community up. The killing go down, the crime go down. Cops ain't getting called every 5 minutes. Next time somebody getting into a dispute, somebody could walk up and be like, yo, look, brothers, can we talk this out? And motherfuckers might be like, you know what? I was thinking the same thing. When shit like that start happening, whoever your local politician is should be able to get resources to the damn community. You understand? The best way I could explain it is this. Look at how the politicians operate like No Child Left Behind. When the freaking neighborhood is doing crappy, they don't put shit in the neighborhood that builds it up, fam. They do everything else. You got a crappy neighborhood? Let's go put all of the shit, the undesirable shit in that neighborhood. Because we can't get it in no other neighborhood. And the people over there, they don't care. So they put all the undesirable shit in the neighborhood. All of the things that bring down the property value. They put a meth clinic. Tell me where the lie at, fam. So when you start building up your community, I don't care if you're the local drug dealer. You like, yo, look, if we build up the community, I get more customers. I don't care who you are. When the community starts conducting themselves in a way and start working hand in hand with whoever they community activists and community a politician is, you could get resources to that damn community. Y'all better start working on that, fam. 2 things is about to happen. 1, the economy ain't gonna be shit in a minute. The economy ain't gonna be shit in a minute, fam. They're about to send another something $1 trillion to out of our country. China don't even get corn from us no more, my dude. Corn is like one of America's staple products, fam. They don't even get corn from us no more. You understand? You don't get it? And isn't this is what I was just, pardon me, isn't this something that we were just speaking about recently? About how America doesn't produce anything going out. We don't make anything. And then somebody was like, yeah, but we export. I was like, only thing we export is corn and like shit like that. That's like that's a staple product or whatever. And somebody was like, yeah, but that's enough. And they was trying to make it seem like that. No, nigga, now people are just gonna go get it from someone else. Darkwing says the shit is wild. All the Dems campaigned on open borders, knowing. I love it when we have a comment, when we have a good participation from the community, right? So all right, so okay, so I've been following politics since the late 80s, early 90s, right? Elementary school. So I want to say something real quick. The Democrats have always promised us shit and then not giving it to us. I'm going to read his comment, but I want to say this. The Democrats have always promised us shit and then didn't give it to us. The Republicans was always the party that whatever they promised, they did. I'm going to say that again. The Democrats have always been the party that promises something and then don't give it to us. The Republicans have always been the party that whatever they promise their people, they try to make that shit happen. Now, in this day and age that we live in, because of all of this transparency, what's actually happening is some of the things that the Democrats previously in yesteryear would have promised us and then not given us, they have no choice now. It's too much transparency, and they have to do the thing that they was promising us. The problem is they're always promising us shit that isn't helpful, and people just fall for it. That's the problem. The Democrats are always offering us shit that is not helpful. Now they have to go through and do the thing. So you are correct. This is a creation. The problem was created by the Democrats because they hate Trump. This is no lie. This is a fact. Reread that. Darkwing says, the shit wild. All the Dems campaigned on open borders knowing that was going to happen. From Biden on down, those Dems showing where their priorities stand. It ain't for the U.S. citizens. This is a fact. Dodie Fayette, that name was correct? Excellent. Trill City TV says, all the OGs and powerful figures in New York, and y'all can't bring these guys together. There wasn't enough coverage from New York on these issues before it got this far. I've been talking about stuff like this since this channel has been a thing. So I've never not been covering this. I've never not been covering this. So I'm not sure who you're talking about specifically. I've never not been covering this. Never. I've always covered this stuff. I've covered other things also, but I've always covered this. Darkwing says, always broken promises, 60 plus years of that shit. Yeah, so the demo, that's why I'm not trying to be a jerk, but that's why I keep trying to say, don't vote for anybody based on what party they are. vote for somebody based on their politics. What is that person trying to do? Is that person trying to do things that I could live with, and then they trying to do things I agree with? Because even if you're trying to do some shit that I agree with, but you're doing something that I can't live with, I'm not gonna, I don't care you doing the one thing I agree with, or the two, or the six, or the seven, or the eight things I agree with. You're doing that one thing that I can't live with. Trill City TV says, in my opinion, I didn't realize how much I appreciated Trump. I believe in the Democrats all the way up into the final days of the Trump administration. Then I woke up. The Democratic Party was literally started by the slave masters of the South. Literally. So yeah. I'll give you a good example of, I'm going to give you a perfect example of how, since a lot of times people don't know what words is, like sometimes I don't know what words is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Depending on what words we're talking about. Whenever you watch any science fiction based on a civilization, what do they call a civilization? A republic or a democracy? They always call it a republic. I'm going to say that again. This is just because we don't know what words are, fam. We're living in a world where people are paying too much attention to shit. Where, stop thinking everybody has a point. Everybody don't have a point. Some people are just, they got Satan in them. You understand? They don't have a point. All they got in them is Satan. That's it. They don't have a point. Stop believing everybody got a point. Literally, you saw the movie The Dark Knight? That was, the whole movie was about a nigga that didn't even have a point. He was just doing shit to be doing it. He told you he didn't have a point numerous different times during the movie. I'm just like a dog chasing cars. Trill City says, in my opinion, I didn't realize how much I appreciated Trump. Oh, I read that. Trill City then says, but people so lost in our community, you can't even bring up positivity about Trump without backlash. They have ideas what's going on. Darkwing says, policies over personalities. So I was listening to a or in IG. So this chick was talking, and she said, in this day and age we live in, America applaud masculine women and they applaud feminine men, but they demonize masculine men and demonize feminine women. Think about that for a moment. So when you say policies over personalities, exactly, which I agree with, by the way, policies over personalities, I agree with that. But when you say policies over personalities, what you got to understand is, often, for whatever the freaking reason is, a person will know that you're right. They'll know what you're saying is right. They'll know what you're doing is right. They'll know every single thing that's going on with you is right. They'll know it. They'll 100% know it. But they'll rather do the thing that'll cause everybody to lose, because they don't want you to know that you're right, because you know that you're right. Think about that for a moment. Also, a person can't be blacklisted if I got people that still, that if I have people that actually are contacting me to work with me, and I'm the one not working with them. So I don't think that. I don't think that could be blacklisted, but you can call it what you want, though. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. I'm sorry about that. I was responding to somebody that I kicked out of the chat. I know that my admins are at work right now, so they wasn't able to catch it before the jerk off comment came. Is what it is. Y'all want to stay on this topic, or y'all ready to go to John Morant? We have the 42-minute mark. Y'all want to stay on this topic, or y'all want to go to John Morant? Because look, at the end of the day, right? I'm not gonna stop talking about things and then either by accident, on purpose, or just by happenstance be correct. I'm correct about so much stuff at this case, at this point. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think the fact that I don't spend a lot of time listening to every single person's opinion about things is one of the reasons in which why I'm able to discern a lot of the things that I tell y'all that ends up coming back. Stop listening to everybody's opinion on everything, fam. Once again, some people don't even know what to think, fam. They don't know what to think. Sometimes people just really just want to say the opposite of whatever they hear, or the same thing like whatever they hear. They don't know what to think. Be a thinker. Shout out to PS59. Shout out to 118. When I was in those schools, especially PS59, there was an onus put on learning how to think, being able to think. There was an onus put on it. It wasn't just getting some information and being able to regurgitate it over a test. It was knowing why an answer was an answer. The why is so much more important sometimes than the what. I'm fortunate for all of um, for almost all all of the teachers I had in that school. There was I think she's the principal of the school now, Mrs. Pinkerton. She was just really mad that they put me in her class this one year. I'm not even sure why they put me in the class. I mean, she was just mad. She just didn't want me in her class. She was just mad. She was really fucked up. And coincidentally, like, they took me out the class, and then like a couple of days after they took me out the class, some kid got his butt whooped in front of the class by his father. His father came to class and whooped him in front of the whole class, man. Like, this was a different era of parenting. I don't know what to tell you. The father, I wasn't in the class no more. It was in 3-2. I think that was it 3-2 or 4-2? 3-2. And there was a freaking, yeah, because 3-1 was the first one. Hold on, let me just tell you this story real quick, and then we get back to what we're talking about. So they took me out of 3-2 and put me in 3-1. 3-1 was the smarter class. I'm not 100% sure why. I think because they just had too many kids in that class, and they had to put another kid in the other class, so they just took the smartest kid from the 3-2 class and put him. But I stayed in the smartest classes for the rest of the school also. So I mean, I don't know how that goes. In any regard, like the couple of days, like a week after they shifted me, fam, the dude's pops came to class and gave him an ass whooping with a belt in front of the whole class, right in the front of the blackboard. And I just want to say something real quick. Little kids didn't respect adults back then. I just want to throw that out there. I don't think it's about the beating, and I don't think it's about the whooping. I'm going to tell you what it is, though. You see, some people don't discipline their child for their child to learn a lesson. They discipline their child to punish their child. You're never supposed to be disciplining to punish. The discipline should always teach a lesson. You're never supposed to be whooping your child because you want your child to be hurt. If you're hitting your child and the object is to cause injury, that is abuse. That's not discipline. There's an issue and there's a problem that so many people don't know the difference. There is an issue and there is a problem. So many people don't know the difference. But no, you're not supposed to be hitting your child because you're like, they did something bad. I want them to be hurt. Like, what kind of shit is that, fam? Discipline and abuse is different. So I'm not sure how bad his ass actually got whooped. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt, if he came up there and barely hit his kid, them kids in the class was going to be like, oh, that was the biggest ass whooping ever, because that's how kids think. So that was just something I wanted to say. Like, what the fuck, man? He got his ass whooped. I ended up getting into a fight with that kid, also, apparently, at a different period of time. I don't know why. It was my fault. I was in the wrong. I just want to say so we could be clear. I was 100% in the wrong. 100%. I think that's when I learned never try to fit in. I was 100% wrong. 100%. So when I was at elementary school, I had a reputation for being good at snapping on people, apparently. Yeah, so I didn't notice, but I was pretty, apparently I've been pretty popular my whole life. Anyway, so, yeah, so allegedly, apparently I was good at snapping on people. So it's a long story. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. Let's get back to what we're talking about. We talking about the street shit. We talking about Sheff G. Is there any comments anybody wants to align with what we're talking about the Sheff G situation? Do y'all want to move on to the John Morant conversation? And I mentioned about all I wanted to talk about the migrants at the time. The migrant situation is wild. That's all I gotta say. It's wild. Imagine somebody saying that they don't have enough food to feed their own children, but they're gonna invite the neighbor's children over and feed them while they own kids. I don't want to tell you that. I actually know how that feel, but like, but feed them, but not gonna feed their own kids. So I'm not a big fan of. uh I'm okay with taking some of the migrants. For we always supposed to be helpful. We're always supposed to help. Don't get this confused. But if if we're not gonna also help at least in the same number of local homeless that we have, that we're gonna help people who are migrants. I mean, at least a minimum of a 141. I have an issue. A minimum of a 141. It should be like 3 locals to every 1 migrant. But I'll accept the 141 for every 1 migrant, 1 local. I'll accept that. But that's not what I think we're doing. While we got people on the train, and I get there's a lot of people out there that don't have no heart. So they're gonna, so they want people to be homeless. They don't got no heart. You know what I'm saying? They don't got no God in them. They want people to be homeless. They want people to be hungry. They want all the negative things in the world to happen to people. I get it. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of evil people in the world, fam. This is a fact. This is a fact. If you want to see how evil a person is, just give them uh, 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 the illusion of power over something and see what they do. That's it. Give them the illusion of power over something and see what they do. And you'll see just how evil a person is. Or how compassionate a person is. You're going to see one of the two. Just saying. Is there anything y'all guys want to talk about? We got 51 people in here. Y'all don't mind hitting that like button for me, please? I'd appreciate it. Anything else y'all guys want to talk about? Put it in the chat. Anything. We had 10:42. This is like the 3rd day in a row I go to check the time and it's 10:42 on the dot. It's like the 3rd day in a row, man. Is it like that number special? Like, what the fuck, man? Let's read the verse for today. This is interesting. Acts 1, line 8. Verse 1, line 8. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes to you. And you will be my witness in Jerusalem and in all of Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. Acts verse 1, line 8. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witness in Jerusalem and in Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. Brooklyn NASDAQ says, play that number. Judah said the same thing. Nah, man, I don't do that type of stuff. One of y'all play that number. If anything comes back, I got 10%. Y'all play that number. If anything comes back, come drop me 10%. What the fuck is you talking about? I don't play no numbers and shit. If there's some come back, drop me 10%. What the fuck? I mean, you can drop more if you want. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, is there something with 1042? Like, does that mean something? Yo, imagine if all of y'all play it in all of the different cities that y'all in and everybody wins. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna read that comment. I think I'm gonna refresh me some coffee. Give me one moment. Sorry about that. All right. It says, real talk, has anyone seen these migrants? They have been very well taken care of. I witnessed this by my own job. Most hotels in Long Island City are housing them, and the NGOs, non-governmental organizations, when they bring them clothes, these migrants are popping tags. Their treatment is 100% better than the native homeless population. That's my only point. That's why I'm trying to tell you. They want to distract us. So there are going to be some RICOs that's going to be popping up. For the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of activity. They're going to, if something happened on the street, they're going to be extra promoting, you know, they're going to make sure that we know that there's violence happening in the street. So they could always also not help the people that they should be helping. Now, could I just say something real quick? I just want to rewind this and say something. Do y'all remember previously when we were talking about some of the things that they should need to do in New York City? What was one of the first things I said they need to do? Help the homeless. I said schools and homeless. That was one of the first. I said schools and homeless when we was talking about this shit. Schools and homeless. They're not going to help the homeless, man. The Democrats need homeless, man. The Democrats are like, and bear with me. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. Give me 1 second. Because I don't think y'all understand the only reason why Democrats probably get elected. In my opinion. I could be wrong. Who the fuck knows? Freaking, I went to the store last night, so I'm coming back, and I saw people at the courts, and it was the dudes over here that I play basketball with. I wish I would have went outside yesterday to go play basketball. I didn't though. I did some stuff that I needed to do in here, So it is what it is. But I wish I would have went. I wish I would have went to go play basketball yesterday. I could have actually played some good fucking games, man. I don't like playing with them other dudes, man. Not I don't like playing. It's not that I don't like playing with them other dudes. It's just that there's some of them like there's some like I can't stand it when mediocre players make it so that you can't play well because they're not that good. You understand? Like they're not that good. So so they need to hold everybody's so they don't look bad. So I can't stand that shit. So that goes into what we're talking about with the Democrats, by the way. Listen. The Democrats need the homeless, man. The Democrats need the people that have drug problems. The Democrats need them. Why do you vote for a Democrat? Somebody explain to me why you vote for a Democrat. Tell me what Democrats' major talking points are. That's a better question. That's a better thing. I don't know why anybody's voting for anything. What are Democrats' major talking points? Homeless, schools, drug problems. These have been Democrats' major talking points for how many years now? Name me one problem the Democrats have solved. Name me one problem the Democrats have solved. Because as much as I dislike Rudy Giuliani, right? Streets is pretty safe. I really dislike that guy. He's getting sued right now. So tell me, what has the Democrats promised us and actually delivered? Now think about all the things that Donald Trump said he was going to do when he got into office, and then he did it. What does Biden say that he was going to do when he got into office that he actually did? Democrats need the homeless. Democrats need the people with drug problems. And Democrats need schools to be bad. Because if they didn't have these things, they'd have nothing else to campaign on. So, New York City, which is already overpopulated, and the proof of that is the homeless problem, just so we can be clear. You do understand this, right? Because we have such a bad homeless problem, that's actually proof that we have an overpopulation issue. We can't even house our own people. The people who are already living here can't get homes. They can't be housed. Right? And just so we can be clear, we'll assume out of it's like 63,000, right? So out of the 63,000 homeless people, we'll assume at least 20,000 of them, they were going to be homeless no matter what because of mental health or whatever the case is. That's fair, right? Because we want to be fair. So we already have a housing issue. We already have an overpopulation issue. And then they go and they get a ton of people to bring here. First, just so we can be clear. Okay, so do you know, everybody remember 1942, right? Was that World War II or World War I? It was World War II, right? So everybody remember 1942, right? Yeah, because Korea was in the 70s, right? So everybody remember 1942, right? 1942 was World War II, right? At least that's when we entered, right? Or whatever, right? So during World War II, you want to know what happened? One of the things that happened was this. There was a shortage of men in America. For all of y'all women out there that think that y'all could just run, if all the men was gone, the world would be better. For all of y'all women out there that think this. So all of the men went out to war. So America had a lack of men here to do work. What did America do? America went to Mexico, imported a shitload of Mexican people to come up here to America to do actual fucking labor because all of the men was out of the country fighting the war. If you don't believe me, go look it up. I got something to say. For a person who nobody should listen to, I know a lot about fucking a lot of shit, don't I? Shout out to the Most High. So, America had to import Mexicans from Mexico. Subsequently, after the men came back, they kicked all the Mexicans out. America's a terrible motherfucker. Part of my language, America's bad, man. When the people came back from overseas, America kicked out the the Mexicans, and not just the ones that they brought over for the labor, also some Mexicans that already were Americans before that and was living here. They was kicking everybody out. You speak Spanish, you gotta go. It was crazy in any regard. So what do you think is happening now that they're importing all of these migrants into New York City? What do you really think is happening? What did I tell you about how they was going to put so many men in prison? Remember I said that? Remember I said, our people, we got to stop fighting each other. They're about to put us all in jail. It don't sound to you like they're importing the workforce before they export or fire some people? You know they promise all of these niggas jobs too, right? You know all of these dudes is getting promised jobs. That's why they come into New York, one of the reasons, right? And now I'm going to tell you the scariest thing about all of this. The hardest worker I've ever worked with in my life was Mexicans, fam. I've never worked with anyone that works harder than a Mexican. I'm going to tell you how crazy it is, just so we can be clear. So I used to have a... So this one time, I'm trying to figure out a way to tell this particular story. So I'll tell a different story. So I used to work for Flat Rate. I'll tell that story. I used to work for Flat Rate. So while I was working for Flat Rate, they hired a new dude. He was a Mexican. I also worked with this Ukrainian dude, and I'll tell you about that story in 2 seconds. Two different stories. So they hired this dude. He was a Mexican. He knew nothing at all about moving. He knew zero. By the end of the week, I worked with the dude about 3 times. By the end of the week, this nigga was one of the best workers that I had been working with in like the last couple of months. Why? I only had to tell the nigga shit like once. Whoever spoke to him only had to tell him something once. Told him the damn thing once. He got it through his head. There was no arguing, no complaining, no trying to explain nothing. It was, all right, that's the way you want it done, not a problem. Okay, boss. Boom, got to it. Second story I wanted to tell. When I was living in Georgia, I was working at a chicken hatchery. I had lost my job. So I needed a job. So I went to go pick fucking Vidalia onions. Never gonna do that shit again. My nigga, I was out there picking onions for about an hour. And I said, I can't do this. I went home. These niggas do this shit every day. Not just that. They drink like a fucking case of beer before work day starts. So these niggas was drinking a whole case of beer and then just going out there and pulling fucking onions for hours in the hot sun, fam. We can't compete with that. Niggas is gonna want to argue. It's too hot to be doing that shit. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not doing that. I just gotta take my hat off to all of them dudes that do that picking onions. I don't care, Mexican, whatever race you are, Ecuadorian, shout out to those guys too. I don't care what race you are. They're never gonna do that shit again. What in the hell, fam? If I'm picking my own onions and there's like 6 of them. Not 6 rows, 6 actual onions. Sheesh, man. Never doing that. You can't be serious. Also, just a little bit more bullshit ass history. You do know. So they had a situation in Texas. I believe it was Texas. So they had a situation where some law was passed. I think it was Texas. It was one of those states down there. Where some law was passed that made it so that people had to they were deporting the, what do you call those dudes that deport everybody? I forgot what you call them. Anyway, so they started deporting all the Mexicans from like some area, I think like in Texas or some shit. And the business owners down there start beefing with the government. Nobody remember this shit? This shit happened, I don't know, 7-8 years ago or some shit like that. The business owners down there start beefing with the government because they didn't want to get rid of the Mexicans because now they got to pay Americans. And if they got to pay Americans to do the same thing, they're not going to make as much money on the other end. Because, they shortchanging the Mexicans. So these are the dudes you niggas is going to have to compete with. The NSA? No, man. What up, Rachel Marie? The NSA? You know what those initials stand for? Ain't those the guys they always mention it in spy movies? ICE. There we go. ICE. The NSA. What you talking about? Spy satellites? What are you talking about over here? The hell, fam? What? La Migra? I don't know what that is. What up, Rachel? How you doing this morning? Cutie, I see. It's 8 a.m. in California. Good. We got some of our West Coast people in here. Let's go. Very happy to see you commenting. If we have a disagreement in the future, I hope we can both get past it. That's all I can say. Anyway, expect an email from somebody telling you they hate me also. I think I should throw that in there. The migration. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. The deporters know the migration. That's why she's laughing. So it was a couple of years ago, and business owners, they had to now hire Americans. They were pissed, fam. They going from paying somebody $6 an hour to some people over here, they gonna want 10 or some shit. Like, niggas, we don't want to hire those guys. They're Americans. And so they was fighting for their right and trying to keep the Mexicans in the country. But they wanted to keep the Mexicans in the country so they don't got to pay an honest day's wage. So I don't know, however you want to take that. Remember, those Mexicans are then, and this, I don't even have a beef with this. Sending money back to their country to feed their family. I have no beef with that, by the way. Just so we can be clear, I just want to just make that known. I have no beef with that. I think that's pretty cool. Honestly. What else we talking about? Put it in the chat. What else y'all want to discuss? What time we got? 11:05. What else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. I was walking down the block today, so I went to the store some shit. I can't see that icon, Rachel. Could somebody tell me what that Darkwing? Tell me what icon she put up there because it didn't come through. I can't see it. I hope it's like a smiley face with the heart eyes. I was walking past the store. There was a lot of people in front of the store. I got so much in my mind, I'm not even thinking. But one of them was talking about a YouTube content creator and shit. Light blue heart. Ah! I knew there was a heart in there somewhere. Aye, matey. I want to make a pirate TV show. I want to make a pirate TV show. I think that'd be dope. I like pirates, man. I want to make a pirate television show. I ain't even gonna cat. A little bit of supernatural element in there also. Rachel Marie says, "Oh, you know why? Laugh out loud. It's from the latest update version of the iOS. They have like 10 new emojis. That's one of them." Okay, nah, I appreciate you. I'm appreciating it. I love all of the hearts. I don't care what color it is. It be whatever color. No discriminations. As many hearts as you would like to put down there. Put them all 11 be 100 of them. I should have stopped and talked to them. They was I should have, because I'm thinking to myself, I was like, as I walked past, I heard them mention something about YouTube. I was like, I should have stopped to talk to them, but I was just like, I was on a mission. No, I wasn't on a mission. I mean, not say it like that because people get that totally confused. But I was walking to the store, and the store that I was walking to was still, I don't know, like a couple of blocks off. And like I walked somewhere in the morning. It's about a mile. It's about a mile there. So I walk about a mile there and it's back. So that's about, I don't know. This is about a mile. So I walk 2 miles in the morning before the show. About, give or take. Yeah, no, it's not on a mission. But you know what I'm saying? I'm walking with determination. That's the best way to put it. It was in the zone. I was walking with determination. I should have. I gotta remember sometimes. I don't be thinking people know who the fuck I am. To be honest with you, I'm just keeping it old sack. So sometimes people be thinking I be rude. I don't really be rude. I just don't think nobody knows who I am. I just be going about my day. I'm just keeping it a stack. Like, for real, for real. I just don't think nobody be knowing who I am. So I just be going about my fucking day. I am not nobody that's walking around like I'm Jake Frost. I know you knows me. No, I don't. I be thinking people don't know who the fuck I am, fam. And they probably be thinking that I'm conceited. And in reality, I don't know if you know who I am. What the fuck? Last time I said what's up to some people because I thought they knew who I was, somebody thought that they thought I was scared of them. So I'm not doing that. Yeah, so I was at some club or some shit and I almost bumped into a guy. And I was like, oh shit. And I don't know. I thought they knew who I was. So I gave him dap. I was like, yo, Frost. And then apparently they didn't know who I was. So I'm not doing that again. What you mean by on Hassan Campbell shit? That everybody knows who he is? Or thinking everybody knows who he is? I don't be thinking nobody know who I am, fam. I'm just being honest with you. And I'm pretty sure those same people who I don't think know I'm Frost Those same people probably think that I'm conceited or some shit. Yo, this nigga got an ego problem. Whole entire time I have no ego. Whole entire time, zero ego. I'm just like living life, fam. Niggas be like, yo, that guy got an ego problem. He didn't want to say hi to me. I was on his page once. What the fuck I know? Thank you, but I mean, I didn't know. You should have just said, yo, what's up, Ross? And I'd be like, oh, what's up? Oh, you know me. Oh, shit. It'd be exciting when people be knowing me. I ain't gonna lie. I be hugging strangers, fam. I go, shit. So this motherfucker know me. I might stop somebody else. He knows me. I'm not doing that. I was thinking of a skit in my head. Don't pay me no mind. But don't pay me no mind. I was thinking of a skit in my head. Rachel Marie says people making fake IG profiles of you. That stands for something. Speaking of which, I have no idea if anything was taken down, not taken down. I have no idea. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you. You crazy, man. I'm telling you right now, you better be more careful about the things you're doing and saying. These are the last days, man. Well, we're always living in the last days, by the way. Because, like, how many lives do you think unless you believe in reincarnation, we're always living in the last days. Every person has lived in their last days. Just so we can be clear. But like, if you don't see the war that's going on right now with, I guess you could say, good and evil that is existing on the planet right now, you can't see that shit. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just being honest with you. Like, if you can't just see it, the war that's going on right now. They have people going on other people's pages pretending to be me. Like, it's really crazy. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, what you want to do? What you want to do? What else y'all want to talk about? Okay. Hold on. I want to say something about John Morant real quick. So I thought that this was funny. So Nike dropped Kyrie Irving because Kyrie Irving posted something on the internet that was considered to be anti-Semitic. I'm not saying it was or it wasn't. I'm just saying it was considered to be anti-Semitic. And so Nike dropped him. And once they dropped him, they then took his budget money, because that's basically what they did. So hold on. So that's allegedly what he did. What they did, that is what they did. Okay, they took Kyrie Irving's budget. I don't know if they took the whole budget, but they took the budget and they spent the budget on Ja Morant, right? So what happens? That shit fold. Why did that shit fold? Because, listen and pay attention. I'm not saying Kyrie was right about nothing. But when you do something bad to somebody who honestly in their heart was trying to do something good, God comes for you. What happened to Nike was karma. That's karma because Kyrie didn't have to do anything. Nobody did anything to Nike. Nike made a decision, and that decision on its own, it didn't get help from a third party. There wasn't people following Nike around to make sure Nike fails. What happened to Nike was karma. They should have never pulled Kyrie Irving. If they was going to work with Morant, they should have just worked with him. Even if they was going to dub Kyrie. They literally made it a point to say Kyrie out, Morant in. That was wrong. You can't do that. And that's why what's happening is happening. It's that simple. They should have never did that to Kyrie. When you do evil shit to people that got good intentions, I don't know what to tell you. That's why I stop picking up on other people's fights. Stop taking other people's fights. Just don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? If you can help someone, that's one thing. But to go do harm in somebody's name, that's a whole nother. Stop going and doing harm in other people's name. Y'all out here helping Satan while y'all busy thinking Satan is telling you to. Imagine thinking somebody is telling you the truth when their whole entire thing is to hurt another person. Why would they tell you the truth? Anyway, let's double back around to Sheff G, if you don't mind. Sheff G, I want to double back around to the Sheff G conversation, if you don't mind. So Sheff G, just so we can be clear, they allegedly have him for setting up hits. They allegedly have him paying to have people killed. I don't know how old Sheff G is. I have no idea. But the level of attorney he's going to need to be able to stay out and be free, I don't think that level of attorney exists. I don't know the case, so I got to hear the case, and I got to see what they're talking about. But this DA is pretty confident that they can get him for paying for hits. They call him the Godfather in the streets. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. We got to go to court. We got to find out that way. We got to go to court, and we got to see what kind of actual evidence they have against them. We don't know. We just know what they're telling us. Now, I'm not out here to applaud nobody trying to get niggas killed, and I'm not out here trying to condemn anybody trying to get anybody killed. The point in which I'm trying to make is I'm not here to pat nobody on the back. I'm not here to condemn nobody. We're going to go to court, and we're going to see what the court say. God has, okay, so once, somebody asked a question once, right? And they said, If God is good, then why does he allow bad things to happen? I'm pretty sure all of you have heard this question. If God is so good, why does he allow bad things to happen? Okay, so first of all, God doesn't allow bad things to happen. That's not how it works. It works like this. God gave us free choice. If God was to come and make sure nothing bad ever happens, he takes away our free choice. I'm going to say this again. So God gave us free choice. That's one of the reasons why the angels that were upset are so upset. Because they have to follow certain guidelines while human beings have the choice to not. So we have free choice. So when I hear people say things like, if God is good, why do bad things happen? I say, well, you had a choice. You could have done this and you could have did that. Instead of doing that, you decided to do this. This comes with repercussions. This comes with repercussions too, but the repercussions from this might be positive. The repercussions from this might be negative. Now that you chose the negative repercussions, because that's what we're always choosing when we make a decision. We're choosing the outcome. We're choosing whether we want that outcome or whether we want that outcome. Because remember, it's the void. We're choosing. Okay, so we're making decisions based on the journey. We should be making decisions based on the destination. So people see that journey and think that that journey is cool. But they go take that journey and then they complain to God when it gets to the end of that journey, to that destination. Because they didn't want that destination. They wanted the destination that the hard journey would have had. They just don't want to take the hard journey. They want the easy, fun journey. And the easy, fun journey has a bad destination at the end. And the difficult, rough, hard journey that didn't want to be chosen, that has the reward at the end. So these dudes decided, let me backtrack off of that. So allegedly, the allegations are that these dudes decided to make certain decisions, and the journey that their alleged decisions would have an outcome of prison. So what we want to find out is if this is really the journey that they were on, or was they on a different journey? We don't know what journey they was on. They know what journey they was on. The police know what journey they think they was on. We don't know what journey they was on. So I'm not saying or doing anything to put anybody in jail. And I'm also not saying or doing anything to exonerate anyone from circumstances. And I want to just make that clear. Because sometimes when you do what we do, and you have to report something that people don't like hearing, they just immediately assume that that's your position. Your position might not be that. I have no position here. You have a government saying that they have evidence that he paid to get multiple people murdered. They're saying that there's an incident where one guy got killed, another person got shot, and a couple of other people got hit. And then after that, he took everybody out to eat dinner. They were allegedly openly celebrating victories over their ops in the street. Allegedly. The DA said they could have arrested 300 people, but they only arrested about 32. So that means that there's still open cases out there, whether y'all understand that premise or not. The DA told on themselves. Do you understand how overconfident these guys are right now? They told on themselves. There's still investigations going on right now, inside of that game. How do I know this to be a fact? They said they could have arrested 300, but they only arrested like 30. Let's say they could have arrested 100. Let's just say 100. That means that there's still 78 people out there that got potential cases on them. Think about that for a moment. I don't know if they're probably not all in that one gang. Maybe the other individuals that got potential cases on them is in a different gang, and they just haven't gotten around to those guys yet. I don't know. But if he says 300 people when they only arrested 10%, keep that in mind. 300. I told y'all basically 30%. No, I said 78, 68. Pardon me. I told y'all 30%. 68, not 78, 68. Now, it's really 10% of the people that they could have potentially arrested from what. So they have other investigations still going on out there. I wouldn't be surprised if they made sure that they was up on everybody's wires before they let everybody know that nigga that they was going to rearrest him for those other charges and start the RICO. They turned on everybody's wire and listening as soon as that shit go out. There's a reason why niggas stay in jail. Remember, y'all don't like smart niggas no more. All the smart niggas y'all ruin. Y'all try to hate all the smart niggas. No, don't forget that part. The streets hate the smart niggas. Don't forget that part. For the person who asked me that question in my DMs, absolutely, sure, shoot, go for it. Just so we could be clear. So that type of time. What time is it? About 11:30. I might go do a live outside today. I might walk outside. I need to get outside anyway. I need more sunlight. So I got to get outside to get some sunlight. So that's another thing. I used to get so much sun. Okay, so I just wanted to say this. When I was a kid and I used to play basketball, all I used to do was drink water and be in the sun all day. So my, how do you say that? Not metabolism. My immune system was probably off the charts. Because all I did was sit in the sun all day and fucking, running around in the sun, exercising, running around playing basketball, and drinking water. Because, the park had the water fountain, whatever. So I'm just drinking gallons of water every day, running around playing basketball every day. My immune system had to have just been retarded at that point. Not for nothing. So we're going to go outside and get some sun today. I might go live when we go outside. I don't know. I would go outside and just walk around and talk to people, but the last time I tried to do that shit, that wild bullshit happened. So we walk around and talk to people when we go to a different neighborhood, somewhere where I think that we'll be appreciated. But if somebody talks to me, it's not like I'm not gonna talk to them. You feel what I'm saying? But that other weirdo shit that happened last time, we're not here for that. Had this one dude that just kept standing behind me, like I thought the nigga was gonna shoot me in the back or something, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It is what it is. Anyway, everybody, just enjoy your day. Go go do something positive out there. And do it in the Most High's name. I guess that's the best way we could say it. Go do something positive. Go do it in the Most High's name. Don't just do it only. I mean, we doing good because it's good to do good. Don't get this wrong. But it's great to do good for God. So let's go do good for God. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification game. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one.